Hey, it's me, your girl Barbie J, and we are talking about Queens Season 1, Episode 2, Heart of Queens. Heart of Queens. And what can I say here? What can we all say? It was another great episode. It was another great episode. And although it was a great episode, it was hard to follow. Not really hard, but it was all that flipping back and forth that kind of gets to me. So I got a lot of notes written here because it takes me a while. I had to watch it 2 times because all of the flipping back and forth from 1990 this to 2001 to 2021 to this to that. I was just like, okay, where are we? So I'm hoping this review is not too long, but before I get started, shout out to everybody in my comment section. Thank you for holding my channel down. And if you have not subscribed as of yet to Barbie J's channel, come on, take a moment, hit that little subscribe button. Stop wasting time. Stop playing around. Don't know why you holding out. You just keep coming back, but come back and subscribe, okay? And share the video, like the video, comment on the video. Let me know you're there. Let's have some dialogue. Let's talk about this show. Let's see what's going on because this is pretty good. But I'm sorry, like I said, this comes on late at night and there's so much going on. And this was such a detailed show. I had to watch it twice. So forgive me. Please forgive me for doing this recap so late. Okay. So it starts off, and I don't know. I don't understand something because it started off where last week ended. They're all standing out there and they're looking at the sign. And there's a sign, the billboard, and it's saying they're all going on a world tour. But then all of a sudden, and they talk about how we got to stick together this time and do it right this time. And then E-Rock shows up and said, how y'all like it? Y'all like it? Looks good, right? And all of a sudden, someone comes up with a gun and shoots. And we don't know who they shooting at. But they never talked about it again. I mean, that's how the show started. And ain't nothing in this show that I wrote had anything to do with that. So it starts off with 2000. Then they get show in 2001 San Diego, and they on stage performing. And Naomi comes on and drags. When Butter Pecan's doing her line because they all got on did their lines and they all hype. And all of a sudden, Naomi can't do it. She can't do it. She's like, nah, I can't do this no more. Nasty Bitches is dead. She dropped the mic. People start booing them and throwing stuff at them. She did all of this in San Diego. But what we had learned is the reason she did this was because they showed a scene at the end there. Here they were arguing, and Naomi's like, I want to see some contracts because something is wrong. Why we don't have money? You driving around in this, and I got a Ford or something. She's like, what is happening? I'm not going out on that damn stage till I see what's going on. And so then Valeria steps up and said, you right. You don't need to see no contracts. You're not dumb. You were getting jerked and you knew it. You were getting jerked, and I'm stepping up saying what Eric wasn't man enough to say or something like that. And he said, yeah, we screwed you over. She said, but I looked out for myself, with my own money because I knew it was a bad deal and Eric didn't want to admit it. But, that's what we did. She said, but you just salty that Eric chose me over you. I said, what? She went there with it. And Naomi stepped in her face and looked her up and down and said, you can have him, bitch. It was just like, really? That's what you doing up in here, Valeria? You coming and joining. That's why last week when she said, you got your fame riding on our coattail, and that's what she did because Naomi was probably the better rapper, explicit lyrics out of the group. And then here comes, Butter Pecan putting herself in the group, and she ain't had the skills, but she got somewhere because she had the light skin, the long hair and stuff. And she told her, you got to where you are by riding on my coattail. And she was absolutely right about that. So anyway, then it flips back to 2021. And Brianna and her husband, they talking and stuff. And he's like handing her this note because here he is going into the hospital in case I die. He going to leave this last bit or whatever to her. And she's like, fool, please. She said, it's my desire to make sure you stay alive. Because she told him last week, I want you to stay alive long enough for me to leave your ass. And that's what she plans to do. So she couldn't get her mother and them to come and watch the kids. So she got Valeria to watch her 5 kids. And so you hear Valeria, was it Valeria or Valeria? Valeria, whatever. Um, she on the phone with Eric and they making plans to get them a gig because she don't want to do this celebrity or wipeout. She said, "Could you believe they want me to get my hair wet?" I was like, "Girl, stop being stop it, okay?" So she's in Brianna's house and she's watching the kids and um she's whispering to her, "Are you sure he got a tumor? You know, he could be lying. You know, have you seen it?" She was like, "Girl, if you don't shut up," she's like, "He could be faking it to get some sympathy and stuff." So when he was leaving, he's like, "Y'all be good for Miss Valeria." And when she's leaving, she yelled, "Don't screw the nurse." She yelled to the girl's husband. She's like, "Would you stop?" So then they showing Jill waking up next to her boo Tina and stuff, and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Whose house are they in?" All of a sudden they hear someone in the house, and she's like, "What is that?" Jill picks up a shotgun. I said, "Damn, where's she at? In Montana?" She pulls up a shotgun. I said, "Oh shoot!" So she got the shotgun, and she goes downstairs. She's like, "Do you smell bacon or something?" She smelled bacon. Her husband Darren is down there cooking. He talking about he been thinking and he found clarity after much prayer and all this one and she's the love of his life and he can't accept that she don't have him too, that she don't love him too. I'm sorry. She's like, "What?" She's like, "I care deeply for you, but I'm in love with somebody else." And he started suggesting polyandry. Did y'all hear that? Polyandry. And I'm like, he talking about the Bible doesn't condemn it. And then he made up a rhyme. He said, "I got a rhyme." She's like, "Oh, please stop. Oh, please stop." He sounded like a fool. And he looks like a nerd, to be honest. For her to be Jill the Thrill, it's like, wow. So she said, "I'm in love with another woman. I'm in love with a woman and I'm sorry. And, for what I put you through." She apologized. And he said, "I'm sorry too." After, much trying and stuff, he said he's sorry too. And he puts down a newspaper and there's an article on the front page about her in their small town Montana newspaper talking about local nasty bitch comes out. Girl, I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God." And I think it had a picture of her too. Local nasty bitch comes out. She could not believe it. And here she is. She's sitting there going, "Wow, this is messed up." But then they flash back to 1997. No. I'm sorry. She couldn't believe it. Then she goes to church. She goes to church and the members are shading her at the church. Yes, they did. They shaded her big time. And then I was like, "Oh, come on now." That's what people talk about when you at the church and how they treat you and don't want to shake your hand and don't want to talk to you. And even the priest, he was acting like shady too. And she stepped up to take her Holy Communion. He gonna tell her until her soul is free from sin, if it's not pure, she must be denied. I said, "What the hell? Who are you? Judge and jury? You are not God." These preachers and pastors and priests and stuff, they ridiculous. And so she leaves the church all disappointed and running out. And the news reporters are outside waiting for her and stuff. And they taking pictures and video cameras and everything and mics in her face. And she runs home. In the meantime, Lauren, Little Muffin, wasn't they Little Muffin? She's at the rehab acting a fool, got music playing while they in the circle supposed to be talking, and she got on these little blinged out shades and all this stuff. And the guy's like, "If you ain't gonna be serious and try to get yourself help, then you need to step." It's like you gotta get yourself help and you gotta be serious about what's happening here. So then they show Naomi, she out with her daughter JoJo, and they talking and in a restaurant and stuff. And her boy Cam comes by, is an old friend and stuff. And she introduces her to him and said, "This is my daughter JoJo." He said, "Oh, I didn't know you had a daughter," and all that stuff. So she had given, before he came here, she gave her daughter a gift, and it was wrapped up and it was music books. Her daughter is a pianist. So, and she said it was like popular pop songs that she could learn. So she invites Cam to sit down and eat with them. And he's like, Jojo, he's sitting there and Jojo orders her burger with all these specific instructions. No this, X this, that. And Kim looked at her and said, I had the same thing as her. And they were like, wow. And then they both said extra pickles at the same time. I said, whoa. And the first thing I said is that her daddy? Because she said she don't know who her father was. She remember last week she yelled at her mother saying she's so ill. Oh God, I forgot the name, what she called her mother. But careless or, so careless. She don't even know who her real father is. But she knew who the daddy is. I'm sure she know who the daddy is. And I think Cam is the daddy. But he said he got a new label and he wants Naomi to meet with his bosses and win them over with her singing and stuff. So we gonna see how that goes with that. Then it goes back to 1997. And in 1997, they in New York and it's only 3 of them up on the stage. So it's Naomi, it's Jill, and it's Brianna. So we learned they've been rapping together since high school. And while they're up there, Eric is still around, E-Rock is still around, and he's like talking to some guy who claims he wants to sign to one of the girls or something like that, and they could discuss it in the details in his suite and alone and all that stuff, and they dragged his butt out because it seemed like all he wanted to do is probably have sex with her, so they had to bounce and drag him out. And then Valeria, she comes up there, introduces herself to Eric and talk about she go by Butter Pecan. And, she presents herself as this, she got skill, that she can get him to the next level with all this stuff. She got no skills whatsoever, but she light skin. She Latina, she light skin mommy, and that will, she will help them cross over. She's explaining what she could bring to the table and stuff. And she noticed that Naomi was looking over there at them while she was on stage. And she asked, is that your girl? And he immediately said, nah. And that's where the problem started. I think that's where the problem started. Because maybe if he had said, yes, that was his girl, all of this Valeria pushing up on him would not have happened. Valeria wouldn't have caused a problem. But he said she wasn't his girl. I said, see how stuff gets started, dudes? See how stuff gets started? So she gave her prop and said, well, she's good, but is she a star? And she was talking about Naomi, of course. So they meet up with her afterwards, and he's introducing them, and they looking at her like, we've been rapping together since high school. What's this? Now you want to bring Gloria Estefan up in here? She said, first of all, I'm Puerto Rican and she's Dominican or whatever. It's like, who cares? It's like, nobody really cared about that. But she can't rap or nothing. So Naomi's writing down some lyrics, and she asked her to spit it out. And she was trying to work at it, and they was like, oh, come on, but she did okay, but it wasn't great at all. And she was saying how she could get them to the next level, and she knows how to sell and what she brings. So I guess that caused them to give her a chance because she worked that rap out in her head and sang it, and I guess they said, okay, we'll try it, whatever. So I guess that's, that was where she was going to help them cross over. Then in 2021, it flashes back to 2021, and Eric is working on a deal for the group, and it works out. And then he gets a call that Lauren, Little Muffin, escaped from the rehab facility. That girl is crazy. She's straight up crazy. And she ended up at Jill's house, and Jill was at the door really basically telling Tina she's leaving because she was shunned by her church, her own church, and she needs her girls right now, and she's going to L.A., she said, I just need time. She said, what, time alone for me? She said, no, it's not personal. I just need some time. So Little Muffin, when she showed up with her, she was like, I want to go with you. And she was like, nah, you got to stay here. You're supposed to be in rehab. And she said something, and Jill's girlfriend, Tina, said, nah, take her with you. So she went. So Naomi auditions for that record producer because that Cam wanted her, because remember, he have a label now. And she auditions for him, and they come talking about, oh, that was great. You just what we need to write for. You ever heard of Little Tokyo or something like that? They go, what? Yeah, you just what we need to write songs for her. She said, write songs for her. So he wanted, like, I want to sign her for my label. That's what Cam said. That's what I wanted her for. He's like, how you going to do that with a 41-year-old rapper singing folk songs? I said, damn, that was like jab, 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 jab. So Naomi got upset. She got up and walked out and said, I'm done. I done gave this business everything I had. And I'm tired. I'm tired of stuff. And Cam's like, you don't mean that. You don't mean it. Yes, I do. And she steps and walks off. She was really pissed. And then they showing Brianna's husband, he had the surgery, the doctor saying it was a success. And all of a sudden he acting like he don't remember stuff. He got some kind of short-term memory loss that happens which is normal after brain surgery. So he didn't even recall cheating on her with his white student and stuff and everything. And she's like, ain't this nothing? He gonna act like he don't remember? So Brianna was a little pissed about that, And then Jill and Lauren show up at Brianna's house. Wait a minute, because they showed up at Brianna's house, so she must have gotten back home or something. Oh, and then Naomi arrives, and Eric, and then Eric arrived. Naomi came because she was upset about what happened with the record execs, and she came told me maybe you want some company. Then Eric showed up because I guess she's the only one in LA, so he had the news and he was out in LA, so he went to her house. So they all was there. He said, oh, the whole group is here. That's great. And so he said, I got news. I got a show for y'all at the San Diego Forum. This is their first solo show in 20 years. So everybody's like, I don't know. I'm not trying to go back there. They don't really want to go. It's a whole big deal. And so they decide they're going to do it and try it. Some people have bills to pay. Everybody's feeling certain ways about their life. And they finally decide to do it. Even though Naomi was saying she wouldn't. And they said, we can't do it without you. And so she said, okay. Because the last time Ray was there, remember, y'all, she made that scene and walked off the stage. And they started getting booed and people throwing stuff at them. That was crazy. That's madness. So then Naomi and Eric are in the hallway chatting and stuff, and he said he letting her know that he trying to make up for his mistakes and what he did, and he was also trying to get with her. And she said, look, I told you that was that one night. You remember last week, that one night they made out together, had sex and all that stuff. And she was like, I ain't trying to live in the past. She said, and I ain't going backwards. It makes me feel like I'm a failure and that I was cool with what you did to us, and then all of a sudden, Valeria opens the door, and then all of a sudden he turned, he jumps slow. So like he guilty, like he's still with her. I don't know. Maybe he is. So when she comes out and he try to act cool, and, Naomi walks away, and he tells Valeria that, if they don't sell out, he owes the promoter like $500K, and that he don't have that type of money and stuff. And she said, I do. I could scrape it up, but we won't need it, she told him. I said, oh, okay. She got money like that. So she was hustling off of them. You know what I mean? And then it flashes to 1998. And they get in there. They sitting around a table getting their first record deal. He gave them all a Louis Vuitton bag, and Naomi was like, I want no damn Louis Vuitton and all this stuff. He said, open it. And when they opened it, all of them had $200K in it because Brianna took her, said, okay, I'll take yours. But then when she saw that, Naomi took her bag back, and they all had $200K in there as a signing bonus. So they also show a scene with them recording this quick video, welcoming people to their crib. Hey, we the nasty bitches and welcome to our crib. But they don't even look like they like each other and stuff. So he said, can y'all act like y'all like each other? And then they did it. And then everybody's like, yeah, I got to go. I got to do this. I got to do this. Everybody's leaving. So who's left? Naomi and Jill are left there. But before that happened, before they all leave, they said, so Naomi, what's up? How's that solo album coming along? You think we wasn't going to hear about it? She hadn't told them, see? She didn't know. In the meantime, they left, and then one of the workers who was on the film crew steps to Jill, and she's talking to her and saying how long they gonna be there and stuff. I don't mind showing you around. Maybe we can have dinner and stuff. And the girl's a lesbian because Jill gets mad and starts yelling at her, and people like you and women like you think y'all could do. Y'all need to watch yourselves. The problem is y'all go unchecked. I'll beat your ass. I'll do this shit. I mean, she was nasty to her. And Naomi's like, Jill, what's the matter? Jill, why you acting like that? She was like so angry. And I guess that was the fact that she knew she was gay and probably was fighting, a lesbian, was fighting with herself, trying to admit it to herself. And she couldn't tell me, I could get any man I want to get. And what got me is, and I still got mine, y'all. I don't care what nobody say, and I will be sporting it soon. She had on a baby fat outfit. She was rocking baby fat. So it's so good to see all of these different things that they was wearing and stuff. And I got a pink one downstairs. I said, you know what? She gonna make me pull that out. She was walking towards the camera, and you see that big baby fat thing. So I'm sure they had all the stuff, the FUBU and all that stuff in these things. But even the music they was playing was so cool, because there was one scene. What were they playing? What was that song? I'm trying to remember. It'll come to me when I get to that part. But they have a scene where what's her name? Little Muffin is trying to escape and go back out to hang out and stuff, and she falls out the window of Brianna's house. And Brianna's like, I ain't got time for this. I got kids in here. I ain't got time for little people dressed like Care Bears falling out my damn window. She had on a Care Bear like outfit. It was so funny. She said, I only know issue with Care Bears falling out my window. So Jill tries to talk to Lauren about going back to rehab because, Jill's the one who was in drugs so much. And she trying to talk to her. And then Little Muffin says, well, Lauren says some little hurtful things to Jill. You the one to talk. You so embarrassed about being gay and lesbian. And, she just went in there on her. And you know what? She said, you know what? Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe there's no helping you, because, and then Lauren told her, you don't even know who you are or what you want to be. So it was so nasty. Like I said, she told her basically, maybe we can't help you. You go on back out there and do what you got to do. And they both walk away like they pissed. And then they both stop and turn around and come back. And they make a deal to both try. But then after that song, come on. I can't remember that song. I just remember, do your thing, baby, do your thing, baby. Do your thing, baby, do your thing, baby. Do your thing. I don't know who sings that song. I used to love that. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, man. I used to rock that one on the dance floor. I know that song, whatever it is. But that was playing when Eric came back and told them that they sold out in 12 minutes. The San Diego tickets are sold out. I couldn't believe it. So they was excited. And then when they show Eric and Brianna talking and they having a little moment, and he's telling her about her beautiful family and all this stuff, and she got to be so proud. He's proud of her. He remember being at her graduation, and here she is with a master's from Columbia now. He said, you have to be the only rapper with Grammys or something like that and a master's from Columbia, And she said, you should be proud of yourself. And then they flashes to 2001, and Naomi and Eric, they are, he's asking her, you want to be with me or don't you want to be with me? She said, and she was asking him, was he still with Valeria? And he was saying, he was like, look, I'm telling you, I want to be with you. He said, but you don't want to be with me, but you don't want me with Valeria. And she said, just answer my question. Are you still with her? And she said, yes. And she leaves. She get mad, pushes him, leaves, and she goes to Cam and says she didn't want to be alone. So she ended up hanging out with Cam. So that might be the night, when little JoJo was conceived. That might be that night. It's one of them nights, Anyway. And what did it end with? Oh, she's upset and she calls her daughter, who gives her some strong advice about pushing forward, even though the record execs were not interested in stuff. And she said, what were those years that I sacrificed that you were being away from me? None of my recitals. You ain't been in none of my plays, none of my this. If you could just give up. She said, what are you doing? So Naomi's like, you know what? You're right. And she goes out and somehow gets to that record exec's house. How do they find out where people live? And she's out in front of his house and he's like, what are you doing here? And she starts singing in front of his house while he's standing on a porch. And she basically was showing who she was. And in the background, they're showing, flipping back to her daughter playing that music that she gave her. And she's playing while her mother's singing, Naomi's singing. But they don't know it's happening at the same time. But you know how TV is. And it was wonderful. And she's playing that piano. And she ends the song with singing Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball. Da, 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 da. And then she finishes it and walks away. And the next thing you know, they showing her in his office the next day signing a record deal, but then it says she can't even sing with the nasty bitches anymore if she signs. And she said, we got a show this week. He said, well, I don't know what you're going to do. We trying to get you a new image, and that explicit lyrics has to go or something like that. But then she said, but then I'll be turning my back on my girls again. And Cam said, but this is what you wanted, right? And she felt messed up. So then they flashed to them rehearsing for the concert, and Naomi is acting funny. She ain't been with them all day. They like, what's going on? She said, why do we think we can recapture what we had? And they like, where this coming from? You know, if you got something you wanna say to us or going on, you should tell us, you know. So she's like, nah, I'm good, you know, ain't nothing going on. But they always like, nah, something's wrong with her. And they knew something was up. And here it is, showtime. The next day is showtime. And where's she at? She ain't nowhere to be found, and they're upset and stuff. Everybody's pissed, not this again, you know, and they know how she is, you know how she is. And Valeria's like, well, should we cancel? And Brianna's like, oh, hell no, I'm double strapped in here and all of this stuff and whatever. Got blonde hair down in my back, looking real damn good. And I'm going out on that stage with or without Naomi. I don't give a damn. We going to get the best life I got. I'm going to give it. So that's what she does. And they show them being introduced and everything, and they introduce all the members, and then all of a sudden they introduce explicit lyrics. So because she did show up, because she was sitting in that parking lot considering it. She had to either give up that career, that solo career she wanted, or be there for her girls. And she chose to be there for her girls and not turn her back on them again, which was the right thing to do. And then it ended with Jill goes back to her church and told the priest, I'm gonna be here every day, every week. I'm gonna keep coming here to you, whatever. I forgot what she said to him, but this time she showed up with her girlfriend by her side. Tina was standing right there, and he looked at her. I think she might have quoted something from the Bible. I can't even remember right now, but that was that. And the last thing was Cam at Naomi's door, and he said, you kept telling me about Naomi's dad. Is that me? And it went off like that. I said, oh, shoot, this was a good episode. But I figured it was him. Once she ordered that specific hamburger and he wanted it the same way, that was a telltale sign, honey. This was such a good episode. And I'm sorry, like I said, that it's late. But let me know how you feel down in the comment section, what you think about this show, about the recap. And if you have not, again, subscribe to my channel. Take a minute and subscribe now. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time Barbie J uploads a new video. This your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.